Any Given Thursday with you, NBA edition here, Harrison Graham and Chase Sr. We're going to talk about the Dallas Mavericks. It was quite a night on Wednesday night at the American Airlines Center as Dirk Nowitzki had his jersey retired. It was a huge night, big win over the Warriors as well for the fourth straight victory for Dallas, who's kind of starting to get hot here. Dirk had his jersey retired, Chase, and equally as important as well, Mavs move up to fifth in the Western Conference. It was quite the spectacle. I would have loved to be there, but tickets were just unreal. I just couldn't afford to go. But it was a fun night, and the Mavs are starting to play some good ball.
Yeah, I was a little bit confused why they decided to honor Dirk Nowitzki after the game instead of prior, because I'm like, you want to get this fan base pumped up to honor a true Dallas legend. And I'd also make the argument no other city loves an athlete more than Dallas loves Dirk. But it didn't matter because
they all stayed.
The Mavericks didn't need to be energized, or the fan base didn't need to get up for that game because they played really flawless basketball. The biggest takeaway from that victory, Harrison, in addition to the Mavs seemingly finding their groove, their defensive performance.
The defense is good, man.
The Warriors have broken the 100-point mark in, I believe, almost every game this year, and then last night they really, really struggled. So that was one of the big points of emphasis for Jason Kidd when he took this job. We have to be better defensively. And so far this year, that's kind of been their calling card.
Yeah, the defense has not been the problem. The difference now over this last week or two is they're starting to make some shots, especially from role players. Because what was the story the first 2 months of the season? Tim Hardaway's having a down year shooting-wise. Reggie Bullock's been terrible. They're not getting consistent production from some of these guys off the bench, which led to discussion from you and me like, God, how bad does the Steph Curry trade continue to look for this team? Because they need guys who can knock down shots. Well, that's starting to happen. Josh Green is actually starting to be a productive player. Now, they're never going to live down passing on Desmond Bane, in my opinion, but you're getting the role players more involved in more consistent play. Sterling Brown had a nice month of December as well. Also, a player you're very familiar with, Chase, Jalen Brunson, who obviously started a bunch of games.
It's been awesome, man.
While Luka was gone. Well, they've kept him in the starting lineup since Luka returned, and that just has to be the case moving forward. Tim Hardaway is going to be that sixth man. JB in that starting backcourt with Luka. It's just working, man, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The Mavs are finally starting to find some answers.
Isn't it funny that throughout the offseason, a lot of the buzz from the fan base was go after Goran Dragic, team him up with one of his good friends in Luka Doncic. Jalen Brunson is a very similar player to Goran Dragic. And in fact, this year, I think he's actually been better. And everybody gets obsessed with draft prospects about them being twitchy, really good athletes who are quick and have burst. Jalen Brunson plays the game in a cool, calm, and collected fashion, but he's also really smart with how he moves in a shifty type of way, and he's got that lower body strength where he's able to kind of use that craftiness to create some space for him with the jump shot, but also getting to the hoop as well. Jalen Brunson has been awesome, and I'll continue to say this because I grew up outside of Philly, grew up watching Villanova basketball, National Player of the Year at Nova, 2 championships. He was fabulous, and the fact that he went in the second round will always be a crime.
Look, Jalen Brunson's going to get paid this offseason. I mean, I think he might make $15, $16 million a year because he's been that good and he's gotten better every year. And the thing about JB is he's always in control. I mean, he's always in control with what's going on the floor. He's not reckless at all. And the fact that the Mavs got Luka and Brunson in the same draft, I mean, it's one of the better two-player drafts, first, second round, that you'll ever see in the last 15 or 20 years. But to kind of circle back to what this team, you called it their calling card, the defense, man. 3rd in points allowed, 6th in overall rating, middle of the pack and, shots, field goal percentage 3-point there. But end of the day, it's about
Doesn't matter. It's about points.
It's about points. I say this with NFL all the time.
Right.
Oh, well, Patriots are 23rd in total defense. Yeah, they're always top 10 in scoring defense because they get stops in the red zone. And the Mavs are locking down when they have to, and they're not giving up a ton of points. And if they can continue to improve offensively, Luka keeps getting back into shape. It seems like his wind is getting back a little bit here. Maybe this team makes a strong push in the second half of the season. Quick question here. Who's the Mavs' 3rd best player? Luka, KP, because Porzingis has had a good year. I think it's got to be JB at this point.
Yeah, Brunson. It's Brunson. Hardaway is very important to what they do, But does he have an all-around impact like a Brunson? That's a good debate.
Not
this
year.
There.
Maybe last year. Not this year.
He's been struggling this year. Yeah,
no doubt about it. We have a deal for you guys. This Mavs hoodie, 30% off. It was initially over $100. Right now, it's like $80. Pretty quality deal for you guys. Actually, no. This one's only like $65 right now. So it's a really good deal. Go to chatsports.com/Mavs hoodie. Get this piece for 30% off. It's getting cold here in Dallas, believe me. That link will be in the comments. It'll be in the description. Go ahead and get a Mavericks hoodie today by going to chatsports.com/Mavs hoodie. All right. How about trading for Anthony Davis?
Oh, boy.
SI.com flirted with a Porzingis for Anthony Davis blockbuster trade idea. And look, I think it's fair to say, Chase, for the last year and a half, AD's been a bit of a disappointment with the Lakers, and we talk about it on our Lakers channel all the time. Like, is LA going to shake things up? Are they going to make some big move to try and mix it up out there? Well, maybe AD to Dallas could be a good fit for Luka Doncic. Obviously, when AD's engaged, he's very, very good.
Yeah, I mean, look, Anthony Davis is a generational player. He's just often way too injured, and that's the problem with also Kristaps Porzingis. But there's no question that at the end of the day, Anthony Davis is the far better player than Kristaps Porzingis. Now, this trade would be able to work in terms of the salary cap because both of these guys are on those max contracts. If the Los Angeles Lakers pulled the trigger on this deal, they'd be insane. I mean, Laker Nation is always talking about Anthony Davis not being available enough. Well, try Kristaps Porzingis, who is a good player when he's available, but he's not available enough. And look, if he didn't suffer that torn ACL when he was with the Knicks, I think you're talking about a different player who could have been a unicorn in the NBA. Unfortunately, since then, he hasn't been the same guy. And I've ripped on Kristaps Porzingis. I'm sorry, MFFLs. I just like to keep it real. But look, there's no way that this trade is going to happen. There's just no way.
No, I'm with you. I don't see it happening. You can't trust KP if you're the Lakers. I will say, though, Porzingis deserves a lot of credit for how he's handled this year. Like, last year did not end smoothly. Rick Carlisle just put him in the corner in that Clippers series and basically said, just stand over there and try to draw some attention. The guy's having a good year. 20 and a half, 8 boards, 45% for the most part. He's been able to get out there. Now he's on the COVID list right now, but that's not an injury-related thing. But it's which injury-prone big man do you trust more? I think the answer has to be Anthony Davis. Like, the trade idea we showed you guys, I mean, it would be...
He's been a Hall of Famer. Kristaps Porzingis
exactly.
has not been. That's kind of the conversation.
And that's why, if you were going to pull it off, it would have to be KP, your first-round pick in 2025, because you don't have one until then, and then probably more picks. Yeah. And even then, the Lakers are like, well, we're in win-now mode, so why do we care about your 2025 first-round pick?
Yeah.
So I'm with you. I don't think it's going to happen. And why would the Lakers punt on AD at this point? If anything, they need to try and move Russ, which is something we've talked about quite a bit as well.
Yeah, move Russell Westbrook, keep Anthony Davis, and that Anthony Davis-LeBron tandem helped you win a championship in the bubble back a couple of years ago. And last year, if AD doesn't get hurt in that first-round series against the Suns, I think they could have won the title realistically.
Yeah,
they were
possible.
Just way too banged up at that point.
It is fascinating that the Mavs and the Lakers, if we can pull those standings back up, are basically neck and neck. I mean, both have kind of disappointed, especially LA. The Mavs, like we mentioned, starting to turn a corner here, have won 4 straight games. And, those top 4 seeds have kind of separated in the West with Golden State, Phoenix, Utah, and even Memphis, 25 and 14. But the 5 seed, 4 seed could be up for grabs later in the season, so Dallas still an opportunity if they make some moves to move up in the standings. What would you guys do? I would certainly do it. Would you trade KP and picks for AD?
It ain't happening.
That T for trade, K for keep. Don't think it's going to happen, but hey, you got to love NBA trade rumor season, baby. That's why we're going to have you guys covered. Subscribe to Dallas Mavericks Today, youtube.com/MavsTV.